And hello, welcome back to the Refactoring stream on using Darkline. So today we're going to look at how to actually test that function that we wrote the other day. So if you watched the other stream, it was a create permanent intent endpoint in Darkline, which calls the function here, and that just a simple function which I showed how to use in Dark. So, oops, I forgot to disable that thing. I have this timeout thing which helps me to keep my eyes not super slow, but during the stream I guess it's kind of a bit strange when it pops up. So I will disable this. Okay, so so I'm going to show you here, and this is my test key, so it's fine if you can see that. It's not the real production key. It wouldn't be exposing the fun. Whoops, it did not work. Again. So I'm just updating it with some new data. And the way I found the easiest one to do is, I was thinking of using iOS directly, but it doesn't really matter. And they have this nice project in HTML, which launches pretty fast. So just to make it faster to test, we download this one. And if we follow the instruction here, what they do is they have their own server here already. So we don't want that. We don't want to use their own server, but I'm just going to open this in VS Code here. And this is not really dark, but we need some clients. So for Stripe, without having a client, it's kind of hard to test integrations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter install, which is going to install all the required packages by this application, and then it's going to start, and that starts on localhost 4232. I have this checkout page here, which allows me to enter the card number, specify the month and date, and CVC. So if I look at what they're doing here, first they're creating a payment intent, which we don't want because we already have a function which creates the payment intent. So what we're gonna do is actually look at the client code, and I believe we already have this. So, and then we're gonna, instead of doing this fetch, we're gonna change this to use our intent API, which is this. So if you remember, I used for last time, so I'm gonna do the same thing. The reason I have Android Studio here launched. I was doing something. So that's the backend we have, and I believe, let me just check if it works. Right, it doesn't, great. So we'll just check why it doesn't work. So errors expected. What is that? I think I was doing something here. Let's try to run this. Oh yes, I was testing how to test the different parameters. Let me just Android Studio, so the whole memory. And I think I launched the streamer chat, but I don't know where did it go. Oh, it says it's malicious software. Wait. I'll launch this in case if anyone is watching and actually has questions. Open. So I was running this validation function, and that was like just okay, so this screen, this, and maybe chat works. Okay, awesome. Chat is awaiting. Okay, both channels connected, awesome. So let me just get rid of this function. So I was testing how to create a validation function, so we don't need this. We're gonna go to this intent data and make sure that it works first before we do anything else. So what I was testing is that what happens if you don't pass the things and it actually fails. It's quite visible exceptions, but we can fix that later. So what I'm gonna do is send the number, which is presuming that it sends the correct data. It is working again. So now you can see it's not red anymore. So that's good. So now what we can do is, even so we have this as a post here, we can actually generate a fetch. And the only real thing I need from the fetch is just this URL. So we're gonna go back to VS Code, I change this to this URL, and let's see what happens. So we should be able to try to create. I'm just going to open the network tab so I can see 34. I think that's the best one. 21. Let's see the lecture thing. Let's put some postal code and the address thing. Okay. Maybe wants me to do some postal code. I don't know which postal code it wants me to do. What is the postal code? There we go. Okay, so it said to me that everything is succeeded, but I just want to check that what did it actually do. Did it call our intents API? So we can go here, intents, and we can see that no calls were made. So why no calls were made? Let's have a look. Oh, okay, here we go. So we're getting 500 here, and let's see why. And that's where the dark preview kind of shows us its goodness. So here you see, we can see that this function threw an error, and I did not recurse this, so it's going to be like live debugging. I don't know why I said it live so many times. The trace returns an error type in the function expects to see rate of type in, but found nothing. So it's supposed to send us the amount, but it didn't. Instead of send us the product. And if we go and look at how they implemented this guy, what they did is they said calculate order amount function, which supposedly should look at the order at the actual. So they're just returning 1,400 here, and they ignore completely whatever was passed as the. So they ignore whatever was passed, and they just put the amount here on the currency. They fix it to USD. It's kinda okay, but yeah. So what we can do is we can either switch this purchase here is the object, and this is the ID of the product. So like I'll be kind of interesting to see if it actually works with the product, but first I want to test if it works, if it just works. So step by step, to do it step by step, I'm gonna first have instead of this purchase, so we're gonna keep this purchase here, but I'm gonna create a new copy of this. And comment this guy out, and instead of purchase, I'm going to change this to amount. Let's say, I don't know, 225. And the currency, I'm going to set to AUD. Because, okay, so if I refresh the checkout page, we are getting 200 now, awesome. And we're getting this secret. So that means our integration seems to be working again. And we can now try to use it with the card. With the actual test card. Start 21. We didn't specify CVC, so I guess it would not work. Okay, so it's telling us that something is wrong there. So we need to specify that thing. So apparently we need to return client secret, like this. Which I think this guy relies to look at the data that it returns. Yeah, client secret. So we need to make sure that this is a variable. And say we call client secret, because that's the name we want us to have. And we want to return an object. So we want to return an object with a client secret inside and a client secret of the product. So now, if we refresh this page, let's see what happens. Can I just copy this so we don't type it every time? Okay, I didn't copy. 21, CVC is practically anything. Great. What happens now? Payment succeeded. Awesome. So this was the actual like full payment process. We can see it here. So that's a successful payment for 255, that went through the backend of dark over here, and then it should have gone here. So we have this payment results thing, and right now it doesn't do anything, so let's just return test here. It kind of doesn't fail on us. But we can actually see here the different values that Stripe gives us. So this is the second step, is to see what do we do with payment results. So usually when you have a customer purchasing through Stripe, after they do successful payment, we need to go and modify something in our API. So we need to say, hey, this customer purchased this thing, like maybe, like in our case, it's audios that they purchase, and then give them access to that specific audio so that they can now use it in the mobile app. So let's see if we can find that out. So we have object, amount, location, charges, rate captured. It tells statement description and all the stuff. It doesn't tell us the product. But what we have instead of products, we actually have the initial. And right here, we should have an ID. We just look at it a bit. Request body. So here it shows what we have. So we'll probably just need the. So we have this ID. That's ID of not that thing. Live mode object pending method. It shows some request thing. I don't know what it means. Type. Okay, the type is probably what we can do the match on. And we want to see the date. Match means we're gonna do like something like the switch statement. So it grabs the amount. Is there anything like a product? What we want to really see, so let's look at the references now. So payment succeeded data is the payment intent. And the payment intent, do we have a product there? Product. Describe specific products created, custom view, list SKUs. ID process it must be current. List of products. So I'm wondering, when we're making an intent, can we tell Stripe to use a product at the amount? Because customer. So this one we're definitely doing it because this is the customer ID. Payment with the customer after the payment. Okay. Payment method. Type. Shipping statement status. So it doesn't look like we can select the product directly, which might become a bit difficult. So we have some here, we have orders. So we have products here. If we create a product, I wonder how do we actually use those products? Configure shipping, create and pay for them. So with the products and scale radio strap something. Okay. So we take okay, we specify items and then some shipping information which we don't need. And you will receive an order object and the response. So they place an order instead of the creating payment intent. And after getting the order, I think we need to pay for that order. You store the order ID for database, and then the customer will pay. You can collect the payment details and simply pass the front instruction to the order. And I guess collecting the payment details is using that thing we already done. So we need the payment intent, but we also need to create an order. And when we get the order, we where is token? I guess this is the payment token. Okay. So let's try to do this curl request here. So if I'm going to create an order, let's see if we can do that. The same way as I did in the previous one, I'm gonna just have it in chat. I'm just gonna create the curl stripe txt. Just paste this here, import this into 4. Should I stop this guy? Interesting. Maybe I didn't stop it. Okay. So here we have a stripe, and that's our actual request. That's some body here. I think that's form. Maybe we'll encode it. Let's try to do this. So it says resources missing, which I guess because the SKU doesn't exist. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back here and we're just gonna create our first product. Our first product is gonna be so we need all the things that we have there, and this whole navigation audio 1. They want the URL and everything, but I don't think we need all of this. We just need basically just the same. And I should have marked it as shippable because it's also a digital product, so we're not shipping them. Okay, so that's our, why is this says production? It's some weird ID when it says prod, to be honest. So we need the SKU for this guy. SKU, and that's where we specify the actual amount. So let's say this costs 30 euros. Actually, we're giving it Australian dollars. So go back to Australian dollars, 35. And this is an infinite inventory. Okay, so now this is the ID that we can drop in here and put it here. Type SKU quantity 2, and we don't need all shipping details. We might need, we have the email there, so it should be good. Order currency name doesn't match order of the currency. So this guy is Australian, and somewhere in Stripe, you say order item currency doesn't match order currency USD. Ah, okay, so it's Australian dollars here. Okay, so that gave us an order. So that's an order actually created. So we can now use that ID of the order, and when we ping, when we have this, we can now, so again the same, right, create order, and now we should be able to import this here. I'm gonna start calling them something because that's where it gets a bit. So this is to submit order. This is to create payment intent, and those are some old stuff which we don't need. This one I think. Okay, so create a new one from intent. We can actually do command shift I, make it a bit faster. Okay, body and product. So the token is that thing that I think, so that's a good question, like what kind of token it actually needs. Because when we paid here, we had an intent, and then we kind of send the information to the Stripe, and I think it gave us some kind of token there. So it's called pay with card. It's a question like, does it need the token from the, this guy, the payment succeeded, might have some kind of token there. Let's have a look. Token, is there any tokens here? Data, token, amount captured, cancel charges, token, nope. No tokens. So we need some kind of ID. Let's look at the documentation again. So when you store the order ID in your database and present the customer with order details, then simply pass the token to Stripe to pay for the order. So which token does you want me to pass? I think that might be the order we pass here. So this token probably is the thing that we retrieve in our intent, I think. But maybe it's not. So to test this, we kind of need to go to core and try to play with it a bit. Oops. Oops. Okay, so paste this guy here. And remove that. Try to post. But that's not the right order ID, I think. So we need to have this order ID. Okay. Okay, no such token. Yeah. Oh, I did something strange there. They give us actual drop euro, which is nice. I don't know, this seems to be missing. Nope. So which token does it want is a good question. I don't really get it. So token. Good store. When your customer is ready to pay, click the payment details. Let's see, maybe it's mentioned token here somewhere. Token. Nope. So after we got the payment, yes, we did the payment, and each token should be true. So that's why it's kind of gets like, what am I doing wrong here? Else, order complete. Okay, here we go. We have something. So payments, payment intent ID. So it has the payment intent ID, which I thought is what we need. And let's remove all the customer button as vouchers. So it's supposed to actually give us this. Interesting. So I think it's something of this result. Stripe content template. Why do we get the token from? Come on, Stripe, tell us what is this talking about. Why does... Yeah, cool. Token information of the card is so to use. We should use the community information between this side and show such information. Responsibility for complaints, okay. Token to store card or bank account information to actually create custom accounts. Right, so it seems that the token is the actual cards. The card and inside the token. Yeah, that's when we don't want to do this. We don't want to pass the card through our system. Okay, create payment form. So this is Stripe elements, right? Okay. Card mount, card element, okay. How do we get the token here? The web missing for the custom list application use the Stripe create token. But then we're passing, yeah, that's kind of dangerous thing is that we are passing eventually mini token to a server. Okay. So it looks like we need to actually use there's some new payments here. Cool. Okay, that token. Nothing about tokens here. So that's a kind of interesting thing. Why when we submit the payment to Stripe, uh, this is different. Why should be handled carefully? Keep the charge of all the embedded euro expected for the customer. Great to token soon card payment with the client secret. Okay, maybe this guy returns to us a token. Maybe because they don't really explain the what data to be sent with the request, shipping receipt. Case, substitution usage. Okay. It doesn't like it gives us this, but they don't have okay returns. Return promise which resolves real payment intent, the successful payment intent API. And so it's not gonna basically return anything good. To confirm an existing payment capacity to confirm the payment method to confirm the payment intent. That's the thing when this guy requires so we need to look at orders I think again. Orders API. Okay. So it looks like the orders itself, and we'll see I have 8 more minutes left. Source, a token or source ID is returned by elements. If no customer is attached to the order creation, either source or customer is required. Otherwise, the specified source will be charged to the customer attached to it. Okay, so we need to either specify the customer, and then it will automatically find the card, I think. Or if there is no customer, then right. So it looks like we need to collect two things separately. Because the source is a token source ID. Source of the fit right payment methods. Represent custom transaction from the user tracker with the right card. Okay. The source is so where's that? Let's see. So we can try to just create a customer, I think. That might be easier thing to do. So if I say here customer, then because it doesn't return to us the source anywhere, maybe we can have a source here in our payment results. Okay, we have a source. Shit, we have now. Okay, so how do we get it to have a source then? So the source is now here, but the customer is also now. So we need one of those. We need either the source or the customer. And when we're creating the intent, I believe there's this intent thing. Create intent. We should be able to specify a customer. If one exists, present if one exists, but if we don't have a customer, is there a source here? Source. Okay, so it looks like this requires a bit further research, which is not really related to the dark, to be honest. But it looks like we need to create a customer first before we can actually, because I thought that this thing, if we go to customers, it does not create a customer. So even though we placed an order here and it has an email, it does not create, it did not actually create a customer for us. I think the only thing we can do is update order stats. So if I create a manual order, I cannot. Okay, awesome. So we will need to create a customer first. So I'm just gonna add a test customer. Test customer test at and then we use that customer ID, which is this guy, I think, when we're creating a payment intent. So the payment intent is created in Dart, which means that this should be retrieved from customer ID request.body. So we're gonna add it to. For now, I'm just gonna add a string actually. Just add a string here, and then we'll figure out how to get it from there. So it looks like we need to say dictionary set customer and specify customer here, and then the customer is a string. Okay, so if we try to call this guy again, pass the customer string. So if I try to call this again, so we should get a different payment intent, but what I want to see on this payment intent is that payments should be attached to that customer. So we have an incomplete intent here, and we have it attached to the customer. Awesome. So because we have it attached to the customer, now when I enter the carry card here, and I'm gonna refresh this guy, so we get the new token, which is with the customer attached. I'm just gonna type this 42, 42, 42, 42. 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42, 42. It's the special card which you can use. 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, so payment succeeded, and we should see that payment succeeded now with that specific customer. And this customer, I believe what's gonna happen is gonna have now the source attached, I hope. So they now have kind of like a balance because we added to them, so let's check. There's no default source, as I can see. Usually for real customers, they attach this thing as a source. So I'm gonna kind of investigate a bit further, because it looks like it does give us this thing. The payment is succeeded, and it doesn't give us tokens or anything here which we can use, which means that, yeah, payment intents, they were charged, application fee. So the source, I guess, would be nothing. Payment method details, but there's no source. The source is null. We will probably want to create a source first. I'm gonna have a look at how our existing customers are charged, and based on that, replicate the same thing in the dark. So this one is was a bit of back and forth, but next one we'll have a look more at how to actually make this work. So hopefully way more dark next time, not as little as this time. And yeah, till next time, I'll make sure we have everything ready.